Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and today we have a first Descendants tips and tricks video. And in this video, I'm going to teach you how to complete the Happy Birthday Buddy quest line. Now, these quests are actually quite long, and in order to be able to actually complete these quests, you're going to need to obviously have already unlocked Buddy. You're going to also have to have the area White Knight Gulch completely unlocked, and also you're going to have the boss Pyromaniac unlocked and be able to defeat him. But don't worry, as I'm going to go through all of that with you here in this video. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So this quest will be given to you by Alpha and Albion. In the very first part, follow the traces. You have to go and search for records of what happened to Buddy's parents in the Sterile Land Restricted Zone. So you're going to want to open your map and go to Sterile Land Restricted Zone and travel to the outpost, and then you're going to make your way towards a mission called High Powered Jammer. You're not going to want to start the mission though. Simply, you're just going to keep running until you see the jammer machine from that mission, and then you're going to want to keep running right past it and go over to the edge where there's a cliff face. On this cliff face, if you look around, you will find the first journal entry or note regarding the whereabouts or what happened to Buddy's parents. Once you find the note, you're going to then want to open up your menu and go to your journal, and then find the note inside of your journal and listen to it. So I'm going to do that now here so you can see what you have to do, and I'm just going to let the dialogue play out just in case anybody did happen to miss it and is curious about Buddy's backstory. Check for timestamps below if you want to skip to the next part of the video.
I hate rabbits! Kids always tease me and call me a rabbit. Bear! I want a teddy bear for my birthday! And not a bear that looks like a rabbit! I want a cute teddy bear! I really hated rabbits when I was a kid. Mom loved them. It was seriously weird. I mean, she named me Bunny for crying out loud. Enough of that. These records seem to indicate my parents were looking for something. Soldiers who aren't descendants don't usually carry out operations in such dangerous zones. I wonder if Alpha or Nell know more about this.
After you listen to that record, you're then going to open your map and travel to Albion, and then speak with Alpha and then speak with Nell in order to get the rest of the story continuing forward and to be able to advance to the next part of the mission.
There isn't much time. We have to hurry. What is it, Bunny? Do you have something to report?
Not exactly. I've been looking into some of the records and I noticed something unusual. Could I get access to other records related to this operation?
Unfortunately, the records of operations from that time are incomplete. Even if you can locate them, most of them are unreadable. But Nell is excellent at tracking down records. She'll be able to help you.
You don't have to flatter me, Alpha. I'll do my best to help you, Bunny. Most of the information we have about this operation is classified military intelligence with restricted access. Even Alpha and I can't get hold of it easily. However, I was able to identify the location of the operation zone. I've sent the coordinates to your receive. Again, this is classified military information, and it needs to stay that way. It has to remain confidential.
After speaking with both Alpha and Nell, you will unlock part 2 of this quest called The Traces Continue. And you're going to want to open your map and fast travel to Vespers, the Ruins. Once you make it to Vespers, you're going to want to travel towards this mission right here, the Destroyed Void Fragment mission that's only destructible by a chill skill. Once you make it near the Void Fragment mission, you're then going to want to look up at these ruins here, and you're going to want to use your grappler in order to get on top of this destroyed building that's kind of in the shape of a U or a horseshoe. Now on top of this building, on the left-hand side at the very end, hidden underneath the leaves, you will find the next record about Buddy's parents. Open your journal and have a listen to it.
Mom said she'd give me a teddy bear for my birthday this year. Yay! I like bears much more than rabbits. But when are Mom and Dad coming back, Grandma? We have to have a party for my birthday. Another stupid memory. Wait, the records mention the Colon Special Forces. Isn't that a secret spy unit? No wonder these records were classified. I need to talk to someone who knew my parents. I don't think I'll get much out of Sharon or Freyna. Glay! Glay might know something.
After listening to this record, you're then going to want to open your map and fast travel back to Albion and speak with Glay, and then afterwards speak with Sharon.
Talk to me. Hi, Bunny. That's a serious look. What is it?
Did you know that my parents were part of the Colon Special Forces?
Yes. You finally found out, huh? I didn't know they were part of Colon, exactly, but I knew whatever operations they were doing, they weren't ordinary. You should know, Bunny. They joined the Colon Special Forces for you. When you were very young, I remember them saying they wanted to create a world for you where you would have nothing to fear. I think that's why they joined.
What do you mean?
They became soldiers because they loved you so much. They wanted to protect you, the same as many people in Albion do now. It's ironic if you think about it.
Okay, I can't think about that now. Do you know of any descendants who might know anything about the Colon Special Forces from around that time?
Sharon. She was the only one who worked with your parents. Bunny, wait. Your parents were dealing with their own issues too, so...
Yeah, I get it. I just need to know what it was exactly that they were dealing with.
I'll listen to what you have to say. There you are, kid. Glay filled me in. I've been waiting for you. To be honest, I don't know much about your parents. Back then, I was just the youngest recruit, and they were pros. Don't be too disappointed, though. I do have a general idea of the operations that were carried out back then. There was an incident where a relic of the ancestors excavated by Albion was stolen by the Vulgus. Everyone in the Colon Special Forces was sent to retrieve it. I think your parents were part of that operation. I'll send you the coordinates of the operation zone where I believe they were most active. You should be able to find something there.
Thanks.
Good luck, kid.
After speaking with Sharon, you will unlock the third part of this quest called In Search of the Relic. And yep, you guessed it, you're going to have to travel somewhere in order to find the third record, which is also pretty much impossible to find. But don't worry, I got you. So you're going to want to open up your map and travel to the Echo Swamp in the Derelict Covert. Now this record can be found where my cursor is right now in that tree there. So you're going to want to travel to the temporary safe zone, Tactical Transporter number 2. Once you arrive at this location, you're going to want to have a look around and search for this rickety looking wooden bridge that's going to bring you up to these tree houses. So now you're going to want to follow these bridges until you try to make it to that tree I initially showed you. Now, it's very easy to get turned around when doing this and take the wrong bridge, so simply just keep on checking your map by opening it to make sure you're heading in the right direction towards the tree that contains the record that you are searching for. As you're going to see here, luckily for me, I was actually checking my map as I did almost take the wrong bridge going away from the tree that I need to go to. And now, since you made it this far in this video so far, I just wanted to ask you that if you have found this helpful or useful at all, please consider liking or subscribing, or just to leave me a comment down below and let me know. Anyways, we're going to get back into this tutorial here. So once you've found your bearings and you've got your wits about you and you're sure you're going in the right direction, this next part here is going to take a little bit of acrobatic and grapple hook finessing in order to get to the location of this last and final record. Get up as high as you possibly can and then look for the floating platforms that are in the air and look for one that is heading towards the tree that I showed you at the beginning of the video which contains the record. Now, if you do have the mid-air maneuvering grappling mod or the long-distance grappling hook mod, that would help make this part a lot easier. Take your time everything right, jump, and grapple up onto the platform and ride it over to the tree that contains the record that you're searching for. Once you make it to this tree, you're going to want to run around it and try to gain as much elevation as you possibly can. So I was using the multi-maneuvering grappling hook, which has less distance, but you get to use your grappling hook 3 times before it recharges instead of 2. So I had a little bit of trouble getting up here as this record is hidden up very high, so just be careful you don't fall off the tree and just try to grapple up to the highest point of this tree that you possibly can. You're going to notice these round rings around the top of this tree. You're going to want to try to grab onto the edge of one of them and then go down the center, and there is a little platform, wooden platform that you can walk around on. Now once you hit this platform, you're going to want to just carefully search. It's a little tricky to find. Be careful you don't fall off, and you will find the record sitting on one of the corners of these wooden platforms near these rings at the top of this tree. Once you locate the record, you're going to have to open your journal in order to give it a listen again. Now I'm just going to open up my map here and show you the tree that it's located in, just in case you did miss this part or are having trouble.
Grandma? Where are Mom and Dad? You said they'd be back soon. We were going to have a birthday party for me. I didn't know that would be the last time I'd say that. It's a cruel twist of fate for your parents to die on your birthday, isn't it? They should have come back. Ugh. I should stop moping and start analyzing these records. Okay. The Relic of the Ancestors incorporated some kind of technology related to controlling arcane abilities associated with electromagnetic forces. The creation of my suit must be proof that this technology was recovered, right? Anais was involved in that. I'd better ask her about it.
After listening to this record, you're going to want to open up your map and fast travel to Albion and go speak with Anais in order to continue on with this quest line. And don't worry, as this is going to be the last time you're going to have to go on a needle in a haystack search for something.
If it's new research, I'm listening. Welcome. You look like you need to ask me something. Are those operation records?
I'd like to know about the operation that my parents were part of. What happened?
What happened? Sure, why not? I remember it very clearly. At the time, we had to find a way of recovering the Relic of the Ancestors. It was our top priority. Many people died during the operation. But these records you've brought are incomplete. We need to find a way to restore them so we can learn more of the specifics. If we retrieve some of the components from the battlefield where the operation was carried out, I might be able to restore the records. I need you to collect data chip fragments from the Agna Desert. I'll show you how to identify the ones you need.
So now Anais gives you the next part of this quest as she sends you over to the Agna Desert in the Vermilion Waste in order to get data chip fragments from a void fusion reactor. Now in order to start this mission, you're going to need 12 organic void shards and 3 inorganic void shards. If you don't already have these, you can get them by playing special operations missions or by doing a destroy void fragment mission. Pretty straightforward here, not much else to say. Start the mission, defeat the boss, then fast travel back to Albion, and go and speak to Anais to get the next part of the mission.
If it's new research, I'm listening. We have enough data, but there's an unexpected problem. The security measures that have been placed on the records are restricting my access. What a nuisance. I could use Albion's internal security tools, but that will mean the records will become publicly available. That means the circumstances around your parents' deaths will become public knowledge. I doubt that's what you want.
No. I don't want to publicize it to everyone in Albion.
I understand. Well, there is another way. It's a little unorthodox. We can use the Vulgus' security bypass tool. As it happens, there are some Order of Truth cultists who are after Albion's data. We can use that to work against them and help us.
Next, an ace sends you to neutralize a Vulgus strategic outpost in order to retrieve a security bypass tool. So you're going to want to open up your map, travel to White Knight Gulch, shipment base. Make your way over to the Vulgus Strategic Outpost mission. It should be highlighted in pink for you. If you pass any orange machines that look like this on the way to the mission, if you interact with them, they will give you a longer time frame to beat the first part of the mission. The more of them you interact with, the longer time you will have. And now the rest of this is really straightforward. Let's destroy the 4 orange machines, defeat all the enemies, and then fast travel back to Albion and speak again with Anise in order to continue the quest. The next quest that Anise gives you is to defeat the boss Pyromaniac Boss in order to acquire a communications tracking component. If you already know how to defeat Pyromaniac, you can simply use the timestamps below in order to skip on ahead to the next part of the video.
Go on, I'm waiting. The records have been restored. Let's see. It seems that your parents were instrumental in recovering the relic of the ancestors. But the records don't specify the location from where their last transmission was sent. That will make it difficult to trace. It won't be easy. But yes, I think there is a way. I've been working on a piece of technology that amplifies and traces specific communications frequencies. This is a good opportunity to test it. I've built a prototype. We may be able to use it to trace the coordinates of the last transmission. However, the device won't last long because it tends to overheat. I'll need to find a fix for that at some point, but we can test it with components from a Colossus. Specifically, I'll need some components with heat-resistant properties. Bring me a communications component from a Pyromaniac.
Alright, so now I'm going to teach you how to beat the Void Intercept boss battles in this game. Now, as you progress further through the game, these become a lot harder than the first few that you do, especially in hard mode. So open up the menu, go to Pyromaniac, and you're going to see it's going to tell you his recommended resistance to fire is 2100, and it tells you what kinds of attributes he is weak or strong against. So he's very weak to ice and has normal weakness to poison. You can also go and look to see what parts are destructible, which parts you can rip off of his body, and which part you can destroy when he's frenzied. So first, let's start out with the resistances. So the easiest way to get resistances is going to be through the use of your external components. And as you can see here, my auxiliary power gives me over 2,200 resistance to fire, and Pyromaniac's recommended resistance to fire is only 2,100. Naturally, if you go even higher than this, it's probably going to be even better. Now for your reactor, if you can get one with extra damage against Colossus, that's going to be really good for fighting Colossus bosses. Now let's get into weapons. Now I always like to bring at least one weapon of each ammo type in case I do have to go somewhere safe and switch out to a different weapon if I run out of ammo for one. So first I'm going to start with Doretha's Devotion. I think that's how you say it. And now this is a unique weapon, and each unique weapon has a unique ability. So in this case we're looking at the Devotion's mark. So what this ability does is when you hit an enemy's weak point, it's going to lower the defense by 30% for 3 seconds. Now I do have my Doretha's Devotion enhanced to the max level, so if your unique ability is not as good as mine, that might be why, but it is okay, don't worry about it, as it's still a great weapon to use against bosses. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to focus on shooting the boss's weak points whenever you notice that your teammates are also focused on shooting the boss and dealing damage to him. By timing this correctly, you're going to lower the boss's defenses and increase the damage that everybody else is doing to the boss. And now for the special rolls that I have on this weapon, I do have increased damage to Colossus, extra chill attack damage, and also extra weak point damage. Now, extra damage against Colossus and extra weak point damage really benefit this weapon. The extra chill damage perk also is going to benefit when fighting Pyro. The final perk was extra hipfire accuracy, and that honestly could be a better roll, but it is whatever for right now. Now, in terms of modifications, I haven't used an activator on this weapon, and I haven't actually used a catalyst on it either. So what you're going to want to add to most of your weapons with bossing is probably something to increase the fire rate, something to increase the damage, such as rifling reinforcement. I also added toxic enhancement and toxic conductor to give the gun an extra 8% attack when attacking targets who are poisoned. Since Pyro is a boss who is weak to chill, and it is also weak against poison. I also built a little bit into weak point damage, since I'm going to be aiming at weak points with this gun in order to make use of this weapon's enhanced special ability. So now the next weapon that I bring into this fight is a weapon called the Tamer. Now you can get this at a few different locations throughout the game, and now this gun has a very high DPS. So now, you notice that my weapon is level 100. If you're beating Pyro for the first time, just go look for a mission that has the Tamer, and then go to your last mission that you've been able to complete, get another weapon at the highest level possible, and transmute your Tamer to the highest level you can before you start building it up to fight this boss, or any boss for that matter. Trust me when I say it's going to make quite a difference and make this fight a lot easier. Now for the rolls on this weapon, I have Toxic Attack and Firearm Attack, which are great to increase the overall damage, but these could be better. And now for the modifications, again I have Rifling Reinforcement, and I have another mod to increase the fire rate of the weapon in order to put out more damage. I'm mainly focusing on just putting out more damage as quickly as possible, and I do have one special mod, Firing Fiesta, which will make it so that rounds are not consumed after reloading for 3 seconds, and it's on a cooldown, so I can just keep laying out bullets into this boss and deal damage to him. I also added Expand Weapon Charge just to put a few extra bullets in the clip every single time, so I don't have to reload as often. The next weapon I like to bring when fighting bosses is usually a sniper rifle, and now this sniper rifle had pretty good rolls on it. I had damage against Colossus, firearm critical hit damage, and weak point damage. Now the mods I used on this were not great in this case. I literally just built the weapon to do more crit and weak point damage and add some chill to it, and I increased the fire rate, because at the beginning of the fight I'm just going to use the sniper, get the first initial damage in on the boss, and then swap it out for my backup weapon in my inventory, as sniper ammo is usually pretty scarce anyways. And now the weapon that I swap for my sniper once I use all the sniper bullets, in this case, is Greg's Reverse Fate, and now this gun only serves one purpose in this fight. Now, I do have burn damage on this, which is not great for fighting Pyro, but I did add some toxic enhancement to it. But again, as I said, this weapon only has one purpose, and that is its unique ability, which is called Bombardment. So now Bombardment has a chance to proc whenever you hit a target, and it will rain missiles down from the sky. That is what makes this weapon very useful when Pyro becomes frenzied, because the only way you can damage him is by shooting this pink tube which pops out of his back, and it can be very difficult to hit. Tactical rifles or scout rifles are great for shooting at these types of weak points, and if you're lucky, with Greg's Reverse Fate, it'll proc and it will help break that tube faster and get him out of frenzied mode, so you can go back to fighting him normally. Now, in case you're ever wondering what your stats are prior to fighting a boss or doing anything in this game, from the inventory page, if you look down bottom, there'll be a button on PlayStation is square, so you can see all your stats. So now I can go in here and I can look underneath def and see and make sure I have the right type of fire resistance. Now, this is very useful in case you're a lower level, so your components do not just give you the fire resistance you need, because then you might have to use some mods on your Descendant in order to make sure that you actually are hitting those thresholds before doing the fight. So now here are the mods that I used on my buddy. These are just the normal mods I was already using. I did not really use her much as I was trying to farm Ultimate Buddy, so she only has one catalyst used on her, mainly focus on putting up your HP, defense, and shields. I do have a Transcendent mod on her that changes her level 4 attack. Her level 4 attack would probably be better than what I have on, but I needed the extra space. As I said, I did not really use Buddy a whole lot, and I normally wouldn't use a character like Buddy against a boss like Pyro, who has pretty good immunities against electric attacks, but I did not want to have to possibly do this fight twice, because I was not sure if I had to use Buddy, as this is Buddy-specific quests. Now, as I said earlier, if you've already beat the game and made it to hard mode, you're going to have access to level 100 components, reactors, and gears, so this fight is going to be a lot easier for you. And you probably wouldn't be watching this part of the video because you already know how to beat Pyro. Anyways, if you haven't beat Pyro, you're probably going to need to increase your fire resistance through mods, and I have a few recommendations for you, as the components you have at that level are likely not able to give you the resistances you need. Now, the very first one is Heat Antibody. This mod will just give you some fire resistance. The more that you level it up, the more fire resistance that it will give you, but it's just going to give you whatever number that you see added on top of whatever you already have from your components. So only use this one if you just need a little bit of extra fire resistance, as it's probably not worth the space on your build. Now the next one is maximize fire resist. Now this mod is going to multiply the existing fire resistance you're getting from the components you have equipped by a certain percentage, but it is also going to lower your max HP by a percentage. The more you level it up, the more it is going to increase your fire resistances, but the more it is also going to decrease your maximum HP. And last but not least is probably the best mod that you can use if you're lucky enough to have it, and that one is called Heat Release. Now what this mod is going to do is going to give you immunity to burn. So when you hit with fire damage, you will not be taking overtime damage from these elemental attacks, and the more you level it up, the more of a percentage multiplier it is going to give you towards your overall fire resistance, and unlike maximum fire resist, it's not going to have any downside and lower your maximum HP. Now, let's get into the mechanics and tips and tricks to help you defeat Pyro. Now, as I said earlier, I usually like to start out with my sniper rifle and exploit all the ammo I have and try to aim at those weak points. Hit the button to trigger your clave. On PlayStation, I push in my right analog stick, and the weak points should glow bright blue. When they are weak, they will go yellow, and some of them could then be removed if you grapple on top of them. Now once I finish using my sniper rifle, I then usually switch to the Reef of Devotion and try to aim at weak points in order to weaken the boss's overall defenses by 30%. And now whenever possible, it is probably best that you try to keep your distance from any of these Colossus bosses. As you can see there, took quite a bit of damage as I was close to him. It's much easier to dodge his attacks if you're far away. Now here's another mechanic here where he has these monsters he summons, or birds, I think they're called hummingbirds, and they fly above him. I'm not too sure what they're doing, but I think they might be healing him or increasing his defenses or something. So whenever you see them flying around him, always shoot them off of him. And he will also summon just regular monsters on the ground. These monsters can prevent you from rezzing your teammates if they bump into you, and they're also useful for you to just get rid of them, as they can be a nuisance. And they will also drop health, ammo, and mana pickups when you defeat them. And now speaking of rezzing your teammates, if any of your teammates do go down, always try to get them back up whenever possible, because if 3 teammates go down completely and are not rezzed, that's it. It's fight over, and you'll have to go respawn in and try again. And now the next mechanic I want to talk about is when he all of a sudden jumps up in the sky like this and the entire screen goes all white. What's then going to happen is you're going to be teleported back down into the arena, and if you see that red circle there, you want to try to get out of that as quickly as possible, because he will land and it will cause a whole ton of flames everywhere, and that can actually knock you very quickly if you get caught in it. And now as for his more basic attacks, the next one you're going to see here is this melee sword attack that kind of sends some flames towards you. This one's pretty easy to avoid, just don't get close to him. And then now his ranged attacks, he has one big fireball that he shoots out, and then he has like a machine gun that shoots a bunch of smaller fireballs, which is more fast firing. And now at this point is where we end up killing the boss here. And now I do realize that I never actually got a chance to show you some of the other mechanics, so I'm just going to load into another fight here in solo. Alrighty, so next I'm going to show you an example of when Pyromaniac becomes frenzied. He's going to go like this, and then now you're going to see how it can't do any damage to him, and this pig tube comes out of his back. So now this is where Greg's reverse fate is very good, but I did not get a chance to shoot it at him here, obviously, as he jumped up in the air and made the big red circle again I told you about earlier. And now when this happens too, he also sends out these chains that are going to keep flying at you. So do try your best to jump over these chains and don't let them hit you. And now I want to talk about another attack he has while frenzied, where he shoots this flaming chain forward at you. Now it's pretty easy to dodge, but if you get hit by it, it does a lot of damage like it just did there. Now with a well-timed usage of your grappling hook, you can make sure you don't even land in that red circle at all and get hit by those flames. And now here is an example of actually ripping a piece of armor off of the boss. You just have to grapple onto it when it's yellow, and then you mash your shoot button, and then you will rip it off of him, and then he will go down on his knees like this and usually be stunned. This is usually what I would use to read this devotion and shoot at those weak points some more. Now it does have one other nasty flamethrower attack, which you're about to see here, This is easier to avoid if you're far away. It can also destroy structures. It usually does it in like a sweeping wave, so as long as you can stay ahead of it, you should be good. And again, you don't want to be close to him when he does this, because it will delete your health and also cause burn, doing damage over time to you. And now here's an example of when he is frenzied, and I actually get to use Greg's reversed fate on this weak point that pops out of his back. Now this is a lot harder to do in solo, as it's a lot harder to get an angle on him, but you're going to see here shortly that I do end up hitting him with it, and you'll see the bombardment effect where the missiles come down from the sky and rain down on top of him right here, which makes this gun very useful on hitting weak points on top of bosses that are in awkward places. Definitely farm for Greg's reverse fate if you already have not unlocked it. Also, do remember that Colossus bosses are also weaker when you go against them without a full team, such as in solos or if you're playing duos. And that will be it for the tips and tricks on how to defeat Pyro. Best of luck if you have not defeated him already. Now what you're going to see in the rest of this video is going to be the dialogue between Bunny and other NPCs, the last mission and its dialogue, and then the storyline cutscene cinematic of Bunny's birthday. This will be the last commentary you hear from me in this video. I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if it helped you out. And I'll hopefully catch you on the next video. And don't forget to have fun gaming.
Now what do you want? Go on, we can use this device to set up a trace and get the results we need. It shouldn't be long. Alright, we have the final coordinates. And it looks like my device is melted. I'll definitely have to make some improvements.
That's not important right now. Where is the location? Come on!
Impatient as ever, Bunny. I'm almost there. Hang on. I know this place. The lab. The location was under our noses this whole time.
The lab? Do you mean the Magister lab?
It was abandoned when a proper research facility was built in Albion. It won't be easy to get there now with the Vulgus in the way. I have a backup emergency device that can teleport you to the lab's entrance. I built it a long time ago, but this will be the first time it'll actually be used. Magisters are probably humanity's real hope, don't you think?
Right. Mom. Dad. Focus, Bunny, focus! I have to find what my parents left behind. That's what's important. The signal is really strong right around here. Come on, there must be something, please.
You must want to die.
Who's there? Show yourself! Where are you while you're saying such crap?
Oh, you slept through me. I put fools into a grenade to try to take me with you. You smell the sea. I believe maybe my wound will hurt less.
Ha! You're gonna die, not me! Prepare yourself! I picked up a signal. There's something in the next area. What's that? Get out of the way! So annoying! Where are they all coming from? This is where the trail ends. There must be clues around here. I need to find them fast. Again? Ugh, I'm so sick of these bastards. Seriously? Stop getting in my way.
My wound becomes extremely painful around this time every year. Maybe it will hurt less once I kill you.
Where are you? Show yourself, now! I'll smash you to pieces!
Come here. Let me end my pain.
Ha! Fine! I'll make it a shocking great end for you.
Ha 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 ha! I will kill you just like I did the other two.
That's what happened. Albion owes your parents a great debt. You can be proud of them. Your suit was created based on the data transmitted by your parents. It's like you're continuing their legacy. This is the final voice file. We reconstructed it based on the data we found. Would you like to hear it?
The last voice file? Okay, I'll listen.
Good. After you've listened to it, go and see Sharon. She said she has something to tell you.
Hang in there, Kaden. The data transmission should be done soon.
The Vulgus will be here soon. Let's get ready.
Kaden, there's something I've been meaning to tell you. Bunny has potential. It's extraordinary. Just before we left, she threw a tantrum. I could feel an electromagnetic force coming from her that made my hands tingle. And it seems to be connected to her emotions. I'm sure it's arcane. It's what we were afraid of.
Damn it. So we won't need to look into arcane suppression technology then. I guess our daughter won't live the normal life that we wanted her to.
Kaden, your wound. The bleeding isn't stopping. Don't talk anymore. You'll make it worse.
At this stage, what more could go wrong? You know what? Our little girl takes after me. She would have become a soldier even if she didn't have any arcane abilities. She's not someone who'd just sit back and watch while things go sideways outside of Albion.
Don't be an idiot. Bunny takes after me more. That's not my fault. I passed on an ability that'll be too much for her to bear.
The only thing she gets from you is the same stubbornness. Don't blame yourself. It's no one's fault. It's just... the universe has plans for her. I'm her dad. I didn't even get her a birthday present.
I really wanted to get her a teddy bear that I made myself. And she definitely takes after you. Look at how adamant she was about not wanting a rabbit.
I'd be tired of it too, the way you keep going on about rabbits. Look, the data transmission is complete. And the Vulgus are headed our way. I don't know if this message will reach you, Bunny. Happy birthday, my little rabbit. I love you so much. I hope you can forgive your poor father. I'm sorry we left you to fend for yourself.
Happy birthday. I'm sorry I'm not there to give you a big hug. I'm so sorry, sweetheart. I'll always love you. My little girl.
I love you, my little rabbit. I love you, Amber.
What do you want? Welcome back, kid. I heard you've managed to clear some things up. That's good.
Thank you, Sharon.
I've been sorting through the belongings of the members of the Colon Special Forces in Albion, whose deaths haven't been disclosed. Your parents' belongings are probably amongst them. If I find any, I'll send them to you. And make sure you thank everyone who's been looking out for you. Especially Glay. You can't act like a kid forever, you know?
I know that! What sort of person do you think I am? Don't worry, I'm gonna do it right now.
What's going on? Hello, Bunny. Do you still feel conflicted about your parents?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but I don't think so.
Bunny, honestly, I would sell my soul to the Vulgus if it meant I could have my daughter back. The fact that you were fortunate enough to recover some of the records about your parents, part of me envies you for that. I'm sure your parents felt the same way about you as I do about my daughter. Because parents are like that.
I think I understand a little better now.
I'm glad. And it's a little late, but happy birthday, Bunny.
Thank you, Glay. I should report back to Alpha.
Ah, Bunny, I've been expecting you. Thanks to you, we've been able to recover a good number of files and materials. And since we've been able to verify the records related to the operation that your parents were involved with, there will be special commendations for those who were killed in action.
Yeah? Grandma would like that.
And this is from Sharon. She said it seems to be something your parents left behind.
A memento? There was something. I didn't like rabbit dolls, so a teddy bear. Don't touch. Ta-da! Happy birthday, Bunny! Huh?
Bunny, congratulations.
Congrats, Bunny.
Happy birthday, Bunny.
Congrats! How did you know it was my birthday?
We all knew. We were all just waiting to throw you a surprise party.
Thanks, everyone.
Congratulations, Bunny. What the heck? This cake is soggy.
Hey, it still tastes good. So what's the problem?
Dalby, what are you doing?
I can't see.